Hi everybody, this is Silvio Canto in Dallas, Texas on Tuesday, December the 12th. Welcome to our video commentary. You may be familiar with the name John Lewis. He's the representative from Georgia, a very distinguished black American. He was very involved in the civil rights movement back in the early 60s, a man who I respect a great deal because of that story, that civil rights story that he has on his career. I wrote a post over at the American Thinker on Tuesday morning talking about Mr. Lewis and his refusal to get together with President Trump over at the Mississippi Civil Rights Museum. They were opening a museum and Mr. Lewis decided he was not going to go because Mr. Trump was there. And I think that was a big mistake on the part of Mr. Lewis. First of all, if we're going to have a discussion about what divides people, the differences between communities, we got to be willing to talk. We got to be willing to come together and say, hey, this is what I think, this is what you think. What do we have in agreement? My guess is that there's a lot more in agreement, a lot more things we agree on than we disagree on. And if you're a black Democrat like Mr. Lewis and you represent a district in suburban Atlanta, you're probably interested in some of the things that Mr. Trump has to say about infrastructure spending, public schools, community development, and so on. So I think in that respect, it was a missed opportunity by Mr. Lewis to sit down and talk about some ways that the federal government can improve different districts across the country. The other problem that I have is these continuing attacks on President Trump about being a racist. And I really don't buy into that at all. Look, Donald Trump was one of the best known people in the country before he became president. For years, 25, 30 years, he was an extremely well-known businessman, did business here, everywhere in the world. His name was known everywhere as an extremely successful businessman. But you never heard anything about Donald Trump being a racist because there really wasn't anything like that in his background. You heard a lot of things about his personal life. Yeah, his personal life was a little crazy at times. That much we can agree on, but not any racial problems or anything like that. There was nothing like that at all in his background. On top of that, Donald Trump was a very big and successful contributor to the Democrat Party. I don't know whether Mr. Lewis realizes this or not, but almost $1 million Donald Trump donated to the Democrat Party. I don't remember any Democrat saying, send back that money because the man is a racist. He also donated money to the Clinton Foundation. He donated money to Planned Parenthood. He donated money to lots and lots of Democrats, lots and lots of causes that the Democrats believe in. He donated money to Jesse Jackson. Again, none of this, nobody ever said, hey, send back that money because Donald Trump is a racist. So I think it's very unfortunate, very, very unfortunate that many Democrats are playing the race card on situations like this. What we need in this country is for people to talk to each other and for people to actually have conversations about the problems that some of our communities have. But to simply say, I'm not going to show up because President Trump is there, that doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help the citizens of Mr. Lewis' district. It doesn't help the citizens of black Democrats' districts. It doesn't help anybody. All it does is it just divides the country more and more and more at a time when we should be coming together and at least being united about some things. I mean, at some point, we're going to have to stop screaming at each other and calling everybody a racist, and we've got to have a conversation about some of the real problems affecting many people in this country. So I'm disappointed with Representative Lewis. I think he should have gone and he should have stood there with President Trump. And if they have any differences, hey, let's have a meeting. Let's talk about those differences. And let's try to come up with some areas where those differences can be turned into opportunities for our citizens here in the United States. Thank you very much for watching. We have all of these video commentaries over at YouTube, also at Twitter, and also over at my blog. Everybody have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you later.